everybody, Dr. Sara Solomon, you know, the person behind all the stuff you see posted on Sara Solomon Fitness page. First of all, I want to thank you for liking Sara Solomon Fitness page and for being so interactive with me all these years on this page. I appreciate it very much. And if you're joining me here today, I would really appreciate it if you would comment below, let me know where you were coming from, and also let me know what you would like to see more of on my page. Do you like the recipes, more workouts? So just let me know in the comments below what you find most useful. Now, I want to let you know that I just did the craziest workout, and that's why my face is all red. So I thought we could talk about workout motivation, and I'm super happy you can't smell me right now because I'm soaking wet. In fact, my workout was so intense. Look, my hair elastic exploded right off of my ponytail. Yeah. So, well, hello, September from I speak goodly, from Hawaii. I remember we interacted on Snapchat, so thank you for joining me over on Facebook. Hi, Lydia. I just met you at Shalene Johnson's event, and it's really nice to see you as well, so thank you for joining. So, I want to know who's watching the CrossFit Games. I watched the CrossFit Games this morning. I watched them do Murph. You know, Murphy with the weight vest where they do the run and then they do 100 pull-ups, they do like 200 push-ups and 300 squats. How crazy is that? So I decided I'm gonna do my little modified version of it. So that's why I'm soaking wet. So I ended up doing a 2-mile run. I did 20 pull-ups, 40 push-ups, and 50 jump squats, and I am toast. So I want to let you know I am posting a YouTube video workout tomorrow, and we're going to be focusing on the let me take all the marbles out of my mouth. We're going to focus on the fundamentals. Now, a mistake I always made for years and years and years was trying to do all the cool stuff and lift the heavy loads, but I didn't properly master the fundamentals. And if you truly want to make progress, the key is to have mastery with the fundamentals. And that makes progress just, it comes so fast. So, are you weak in your fundamentals? Now, every workout we can do, we can scale. So whatever you see me doing on YouTube, you can either scale it, make it something that's more basic, or you could make it more advanced. So, oh, hold on, somebody wants to say hello. Aha! Coco makes an appearance. Oh my goodness, from the Philippines. Hello from the Philippines. So, wow, I am still overheated from that workout. Catherine Jennings from Team SS has joined us from the UK. She's also a cat lover. So, I want to ask you, oh wait, I have to show you something. Look what I just got from bodybuilding.com, because I'm Batman. That's right, these are now available on bodybuilding.com. Super cool. So I wanted to ask you if you have any questions that you want to ask me about anything, whether it's intermittent fasting, working out, you name it, go ahead and ask me. The other day somebody asked me a question about fiber and fasting. So, hi Rebecca. Just so you know, Rebecca won my last $4,000 transformation challenge, and she won it eating licorice and cereal and gummy candies. I know her addictions. I really love my Team SS. I want to thank you for joining me here today. And just so you know, you can go check out the testimonials on my website. Just head over to drsarasolomon.com and you can actually see the testimonials of Catherine, September, Rebecca. It's really cool. I love interacting with you, and I think this is such a cool forum because we can actually get to know each other, and you can give me input and let me know what you would like to see more of and what you find valuable on my page. And I can't thank you enough for liking my page and for sharing my content and for making the recipes. You know, it makes me feel really special when I see you post on Instagram one of my recipes. It's pretty cool. So thank you for that. Look at how red I am from my workout. Whew, I seriously need a shower. Okay, so fiber. Somebody asked me a question about fiber, constipation, and fasting. They mentioned that they went on a trip and they got severely constipated even though they were, you know, doing what they normally do. Now, fasting can cause constipation, especially because we're not eating. And so there's nothing really stimulating peristalsis in your stomach, so it's easy to get constipated. So that's why it's really important that when you do eat, that you are having a high fiber diet. So you want to be having, ladies, at least 25 grams of fiber in your diet. Gentlemen, I think it's around 38 grams for you. Now, if you're, doing fitness, CrossFit, bodybuilding, then you can up that. I would say between 40 and 60 grams of fiber per day would be acceptable. But I wouldn't go any further than that, just because you're going to be dealing with malabsorption, bloating issues. So try and get more fiber in your diet. Again, fruits, veggies. For me, I like to eat fiber cereal. I know a lot of the girls on my team SS, we are cereal addicts. What are you doing, Cocoa Bean? She wants to be on the broadcast. So, that's my little spiel on fiber. Now, when you fast, obviously energy is not going to be wasted digesting. So the good news is that that energy is going to be devoted to doing more important things for your body, cleaning your body up on a cellular level. So it's going to give your body a chance to spend energy where it's going to be scavenging free radicals, improving your immunity, resetting your metabolism. So fasting has so many advantages. So that's why one of the reasons why I like to fast is because it boosts my immunity, it boosts my mood. I'm more focused, so I can get more work done. I'm more productive because I don't have to stop and eat all the time. And it has a suppressive effect on hunger, so I can spend the majority of my day not hungry. And then when it finally is time to eat, of course I'm not hungry because I'm eating larger portions, because I'm eating the food I would normally eat over 15 waking hours in a compressed window, which is ideal for people with binge eating personalities. It's also ideal for people who are just really busy and don't have time to stop and eat all the time. And I think it's really good for people who always feel hungry, having small meals spread throughout the day, because if you have larger meals compressed in a narrow window, you'll obviously achieve appetite satisfaction when you do eat. And make sure you get your fiber in so you don't get constipated, because who wants to get constipated? All right, enough of me talking. I want to read your questions. So, oh, well, thank you. Lily Light says, I look bigger. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know why I look bigger? Why my muscles got bigger? Because I started to focus on the fundamentals, meaning I wanted to do a really good job mastering the fundamental movements. So I went right back to the beginning of exercise. So, I mean, very, very basic motions that I'm doing. I'm almost embarrassed to say I'm doing it, but I'm very proud to tell you that when I went back to the basics, it helped me to get stronger because I was able to master things at a basic level and then progress. So, I mean, for years I wanted to be able to do handstands, and I could never do it because I put the cart before the horse. I didn't approach it in a methodical way. But when I went back to the beginning and said to myself, okay, why can't I do a handstand? And I broke it down and I worked on all the reasons why I couldn't do it. Now suddenly I can do it. Funny, eh? So, you know, everybody wants to do the crazy stuff, the sexy stuff, and put the sexy plates on your barbell and look like hot snot. But are you really doing yourself any favors if you're just compensating and you're potentially going to injure yourself? So the key is to do the exercising well. And if you do that, you're going to get so much more out of it, and then the progress just happens naturally. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. It's been exciting. I feel a lot stronger. I feel my posture's improved. I'm proud of myself for, you know, being mature enough to realize, let's go back. You know, it's not the most exciting thing to be like, yeah, let me start all over again. But I did go back and started at the very beginning, and, you know, just working on flexibility, mobility, core strength, and strengthening my weak points. My whole body just feels more balanced. It's the first time I've been injury-free in a long time, and I feel strong. So that's what I wanted to share with you for workout motivation, because it's not about, you know, looking like the people in the CrossFit Games, for example. It's just about doing what you can do well, and you'll get so much out of that. So much. Ange Betts wants to know if I'm going to do a fundamental exercise regime. You're darn tootin'. There's one coming tomorrow to my YouTube, youtube.com/poo, Sara Solomon, and we are going to be focusing on mastering the air squat with correct form, and we're going to be doing the bounce step with jump rope with correct form. And keep in mind, if you can't do jump rope, remember what I told you, you can scale it. So you could do something else. For example, you could do marching on the spot, you could do jumping jacks, you can do something that you know how to do with proper form so you're not going to get injured and you'll get something out of it. So, and again, if air squats are too simple for you, you've already mastered that with gorgeous form, well then, you know what? Turn it into a front squat, slap a barbell on there. So you can really make things work for you. Hi, Kylie. Kylie Morgan is from Team SS all the way from Australia, and she taught me how to use the word reckon in a sentence, and I reckon that this broadcast is super fun, and I'm really happy you all are joining me. Thank you. Ashley Mills, it's been 100 years, one of my original Team SS members. Ashley Mills was one of my very first testimonials. I am stoked as a goat that you are on here. Thank you so, so much. You may have noticed I have a bit of a freaky memory. I remember everybody. That's what I love about social media, is that we get this opportunity to cross paths. We all live around the world. And, we all get a chance to touch each other's lives and learn things from each other. And I appreciate all the things that I have learned from all of you. And you have helped me to, make the fat loss fast system so much better than it was 2, 3, 4 years ago. So I can't thank you all enough for everything you've done and for being a part of this journey with me. Let me be a part of your journey as well. So Kylie from Australia, can you please say hi to Isaiah for me, just in case he's watching? That's her son. So cool. And if you have any questions, now's your chance. Awkward silence. I'm still super red from my workout. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate that you like the videos and the recipes. Now, do you all prefer the video recipes, or do you just like a written recipe? Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of, because the whole point of Sara Solomon Fitness page is that I want to give you content that's going to help you get to your goals. So I need to know what you want. Kylie says, Isaiah says, good morning. He's tucked up in a blankie watching cartoons. That's right, because it's winter there. It's so cold in Australia right now. I've got people from London. Ange wants to know if I'm going to do more cooking with my mom. Okay, well, Ange, the good news is that my parents just retired about half a year ago, and they moved to Toronto. I live in Toronto. Behind me right now, you can see Toronto Island. So even crazier, they moved into the same condominium complex that I'm in. So they're a few floors below my condo. So it's just a case of, we can butter her up and see if we can get her to do something. But my question for you is, do you want me and my mom to do the luscious recipes that we had growing up, or do you want something healthy? Or do you want us to try and make a healthy version of a luscious recipe? So let me know what you're looking for. Thank you, Mayuda. I appreciate that. She likes watching me on Snapchat. Just in case you didn't know, I am on Snapchat. It's Dr. Sara Solomon, DrSaraSolomon. I do a couple of snaps a day, usually nothing serious, if any of you watched it. And I do post all my snaps over on YouTube. That's youtube.com/poo, Sara Solomon. I like having fun with the Snapchat. I think it's a cool way just to interact and not be so technical all the time about our calories and macros and workouts and stuff like that. Coco stole my hair elastic. I should probably grab that from her before she eats it. Okay, Sarah, with a lot of high-intensity workouts, which brand pants do you prefer that last? Thanks, Sarah. Mine seem to wear too quickly. So that's from A Wee Hobbit. Cool name there, A Wee Hobbit. Hold on. I got it back from her. Okay, have you ever worked out so hard that your hair elastic flings off your ponytail? So the pants that I find work for me are Lululemon. I've always been wearing the Lululemon Canadian brand. I find that if I hang them to dry, some of my Lulu pants are 10 years old and I'm still wearing them. So it's like vintage, so nobody else can have them. So, and that's true for pretty much anything you're wearing. If you hang it to dry, you're gonna get a lot more mileage out of that. I do that with my bras too. You know, even my workout tops, the sports bras, like this sports bra that I'm wearing right now, the Nike one, I just flashed everybody my boobs. Like, hit the like button. So that one is probably about I had this in university, and I graduated from dental school in 2005. Okay, so that tells you how old this sucker is. So it's just because I hang everything to dry. Okay, September wants weight loss, more weight loss stuff. Okay, we can do that for sure. Did you say that you have... Lydia wants to know if I have a new fundamental exercise routine program that people can follow. Oh my gosh, it is coming soon. I'm just finishing up this Monday. I think it's going to be the last session of filming for it, and I'm very excited about it because it has really changed my game. And if you are willing to commit to going back to mastering the basics, you're going to get so much out of it. And I realize not everybody wants to do that. You know, like people want to do all the cool stuff. And, you know, it wasn't until I kept getting injured and I was never making progress and my body was never changing that I finally realized, Sarah, stop putting, whoa, she keeps ticking my hair elastic. Stop putting the cart before the horse. I had cart before the horse-itis. You know what else I had? Let me know if you have this problem. Cherry picking-itis. Where it's like, oh, I hate that exercise, I don't want to do that one, so I'm going to do this one instead. And I was doing that year after year after year. I was avoiding things I should have been doing. And once I actually started doing the things I hated, and as painful as it was and miserable as it was, that's when things started to change for me. So, yeah. Thank you, Lydia. I'm excited about this program. I think if I could get my mom to do it, and my dad, did anybody have advice on how you're supposed to like get your parents to do the things you do? Because my parents won't listen to me. Angela wants to know if I only have one cat right now. Yes, Coco she's turning 1 year old July 30th, and you can see she's a fart and a mitt trying to find a hole in the thumb to get out. So, she's like having 17 cats all at the same time, because if you watch any of the videos, you can see she's a very busy, busy lady. Unfortunately, her brother, I don't have her brother anymore, Rudy. I was visiting somebody at the time with the 2 cats, and I went to the gym, and when I came back, that person had accidentally lost Rudy, and that was it. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not over it. It's something that, you know, it's something I think about every day. But I absolutely adore Coco. I couldn't be happier with Coco, and I appreciate that you guys enjoy having Coco be a part of everything that is the Fat Loss Fast system. She's important to me, and she makes things fun. Yeah, Lydia says she's guilty of cherry-picking-itis. You know, once you own up to having cherry-picking-itis, and you start to do those things that you hate, that's when your game changes. Heather McIntyre wants to know, can you describe the fundamentals a little bit more? Okay, so Heather, the fundamental, ow, she just bit me. The fundamentals for me were just, you know, getting core strength. I just assumed that because I had a 6-pack that I had strong abs. But it wasn't until I started doing planks, doing hollow body holds, Supermans, you know, like things like bird dogs, dead bugs. When I started doing those with correct form, slowly, mindfully, that's when I started to see tremendous improvement with everything. I think that if you have a strong core, it makes everything else so much easier, because you can't do squats with weight if you don't have a strong core. And then it was a case of mastering the squat, the air squat, no weight at all, with proper depth, proper range of motion. And that wasn't possible for me because I didn't have the flexibility, the mobility. So then I had to spend time working on that. So you can see how you have to really break everything down. Like I couldn't even start the handstand until I had full range of motion in my shoulder joint. For whatever reason, this one's flexible, but this one wasn't as flexible, so I had to work on that. And once I worked on that, and was able to, you know, work unilaterally, strengthening and fixing what was going on here, then I was able to start doing the handstands. So it's really a case of figuring out where are your weaknesses, where are you lacking mobility and flexibility, and are you willing to commit to addressing those? Because once you know what your weak points are, then you're going to kick butt with the fundamentals, and then it's just going to be an obvious natural progression to you at that point. But I realize you can't, like, I can't try and do ring rows if I can't do perfect form tricep dips off the bench. So that's where, you know, there's this tendency to want to do the cool stuff. Like, why would I try doing an overhead squat if I can't even air squat properly? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. And in my new program, we're going to really address mobility. We're going to get you opening up your hips and improving your core strength. Just, you know, really focusing on what it is that we need to do in order to get results. And nothing happens overnight. And, you know, you have to be mature with your outlook. I'm just going at this one day at a time. And like today, like I'm joking around, like making fun of myself doing my mini Murph exercise routine from today. You know, and I watched the CrossFitters do it today. Like Josh Bridges did the whole thing with the weight vest on in less time than it took me to do my pathetic modified version. But for me, I got so much out of that workout, and you know, it's working for me, and I'm doing it gradually. And you know, someday things will be different, just one day at a time. Jacques, hello. Ah, parlez-vous le français? Jacques Obino? Ah, c'est français. Well, thank you, Malik. I appreciate that. You know, normally I get all pretty for like live video. I'm like, you know what? I just did my little mini Murph workout. And I stink. Good thing you can't smell me. Ange wants to know if I take glucosamine for my knees. She wants to know what I reckon. Now, Ange, are you from Australia? I reckon. I do take, I mean, I'm, you know, 38 years old, and I do take glucosamine chondroitin supplement for my knees. So, I mean, you can talk to your doctor and see what's right for you. I also take fish oil. It's up to you. I mean, do you have knee issues? And again, that's where the fundamentals come into play. You know, it's funny how my knee problems went away when I addressed my lack of flexibility, my lack of mobility, and my weaknesses. So once that was addressed, I even walk differently now. I feel great. I feel so good. I wish I had done all this years ago. So, any other questions? Amanda, hello, from Team SS. It's good to see you on here. So, I'll take a couple more questions, and then we can wrap it up. Any questions with fasting, exercises? Yeah, and knee issues oftentimes are just because we're not addressing what's going on. And oftentimes it's not even the knee that's the problem. It's what's going on in your hips, you know, internally rotated hips, the way your pelvis is, if it's in an anterior pelvic tilt, what's going on with your feet. Do you have flat feet? Are they pronated? So once those issues are addressed, then the knee pain typically goes away. What's the tattoo on my arm? This one is Japanese, and it means no limits. Hi, Ian. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Virginia wants to know when the program starts. Well, we're still finishing it up, so once it's ready, I will announce it and let you all know. So Tammy Walsh, one of my very first Team SS members to go through the Fat Loss Fast System, and her testimonial is phenomenal, and she has maintained her weight loss, and she has the craziest six-pack. She wants to know what Coco is doing. Is she a roll or a pretzel right now? This is a Team SS inside joke. And by the way, you can join Team SS. Just go to jointeamss.com, and you can be a part of our super cool, fun group. We have so much fun every day. We do lots of fun little contests and things in there too. I actually have this award that I call the Double D Award. It's not like Double D, you know. It's the Damn Dedicated Award. And I like to give that out 1 or 2 times a week. And it's graciously sponsored by BSN and bodybuilding.com. So I appreciate that very much, BSN and bodybuilding.com, for being so supportive of me and my team SS. And I forget what I was talking about. Tammy. Tammy, she's actually a croissant. See that? All right, so I don't see any further questions, but thank you, Rebecca. I love you. Thank you for being a part of Team SS. So if you want to learn more about fasting, I do have a sale happening this July, and I wrote it down here. Just go to fatlossfastsystem.com, and the coupon is July 35 for 35% off. So you can check that out. You can also join Team SS, join teamss.com. If you're interested in just getting started with the fasting, you want to read up on it, you're not sure about it, then you can go to my free tutorials at, hold on, I wrote it down, startfastingtoday.com, so that you can start fasting today. And don't forget, there's a new workout video coming tomorrow to my youtube.com/Ipoo Sara Solomon. So subscribe to that. And, oh, did I write it backwards? Well, what if we do it see-through? Can you kind of see through it? You'll have to hold a mirror to it. Well, it's easy to remember. Startfastingtoday.com, fatlossfastsystem.com. This is cumbersome. I find this cumbersome. Okay. All right. Oh, Malik wants to know what kind of protein is perfect to eat. Well, I mean, that's going to depend on your taste buds, too. I'm a fan of lean protein sources. I love my chicken. I love extra lean ground turkey, non-fat plain Greek yogurt. But check out my recipes, because non-fat plain Greek yogurt is gross and vomit-inducing. But I have recipes that doctor it up to make it taste less gross than it actually is. And you can get all my recipes. They're free on my website by going to whatsaraeats.com. Yes, I'm obsessed with domain names. So, whoa! So, whatsaraeats.com. And it's S-A-R-A. There's no H. Just saying. So, I like the non-fat plain Greek yogurt. I love the BSN new Synthesis Edge protein powder. So good, especially the cookies and cream. And I slap that into my fiber cereal so I can get my fiber up so I don't get constipated. I like egg whites. I love making those egg white meringues. And there's a video on my YouTube where I teach you how to make the egg white meringues. Only 120 calories and 28 grams of protein. What else, Coco? What else do we like for protein? Oh, fish. Yeah. Well, Jody, you're joining when I'm leaving. Hi, Jody. Jody Quintero is part of my Team SS, and she is seriously badass at jump rope. She can jump backwards. She can do double unders, doing forward straddle, side straddle. You name it, she can do it. So... hello, Jody. I was just going to leave the broadcast. Oh, she was out to dinner. What did you have for your lean protein source? We need to know. Can you let us know? Comment. Because that was one of the questions. Lean protein. Oh, ooh, ah. I reckon this is uncomfortable. Okay. Prime rib, hello. Tacos, prime rib tacos. Wow, I'm jealous. I'm totally jealous. But you know, that's the beauty of the fat loss fast system, because it's flexible dieting. So you can factor in 20% of your daily food intake as being fun calories. So, for example, I talked about how Rebecca from Team SS likes to have licorice, and so do I. I wish I had some right now. I like to have cereal, and Jody Jody, what's your kryptonite? What is your kryptonite? Tammy, what's your kryptonite? You know, my kryptonite tends to change from, you know, week to week. I go through food phases. I go through fruit phases. But I think it's important for food variety and rotation, just so you don't get sick of doing one thing all the time. Yeah, Twizzlers, totally. I wish Twizzlers would sponsor me. Popcorn. I knew that, Jody. Popcorn. In fact, if you guys are interested, I have a popcorn recipe video on my YouTube called Chocolate Popcorn. And it's actually protein chocolate popcorn. So just go to youtube.com/epoo, Sara Solomon, and look for chocolate popcorn. So, and popcorn is actually a really good, because we're not robots. We're not going to always eat clean all the time. Clean, in quotes. So I think popcorn is actually a really good choice for your comfort food, assuming you don't lace it in like butter and caramel and a whole bunch of things that, you know, are calorious. Is that even a word? I make up words. So popcorn's great because it's a huge volume of food and very low calories. And you can even buy the microwave portion controlled versions. That's what I do. I buy the 100 calorie microwave things, and you get like this huge portion, and it's, so I approve of popcorn. Raman wants to know, explain a way of how to burn belly fat, please. Okay, the easiest way to burn belly fat, and you can do it with zero effort involved, is by fasting. All you have to do is stop eating all the time. And the majority of your fast happens when you're asleep. So if you can fast for 16 hours, of which, you know, 8 of them happen when you're asleep. So you pretty much just stop eating, you know, around 8 o'clock at night, go to bed fasted, wake up in the morning, you skip breakfast, and then you can eat, you know, think of it as brunch. So instead of having breakfast, you just push that back, and you'll eat around, you know, 11 o'clock, noon, and then you would eat your food that you would normally consume over 15 waking hours in a narrow window. So that could be an 8-hour window. Now, if you're the kind of person who tends to binge eat, then you'd be smarter to narrow that window to minimize the likelihood that you would overconsume. So, for example, I'm a binge eater and I'm a nighttime eater. Like, I'm the kind of person who's like, it's nighttime, I just want to eat and eat and eat at night. So I like to have a 4-hour window. So that minimizes the likelihood that I would overconsume. And it makes me feel full, and it satisfies that need that I have to just be an eating machine at night. So I know my eating personality. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm like, hey, I know what my personality is. So I'm going to make my diet accommodate my eating personality, so that way I will have success. It's very difficult to have success on a diet that doesn't suit your schedule or your eating personality. You're inevitably going to throw in the towel, and it's going to be very unpleasant to try and follow a strict regimen that just doesn't jive with your eating personality. So if your eating personality is like, whoa, you get way too full eating all your food in a narrow period of time, then you're not going to want to do a 4-hour window. You might be better off doing a 6-hour window or an 8-hour window. And that way you can, you know, split your food up throughout the 8 hours and not feel like you're super full all at once. But again, everybody's different. Some people will get full really quickly and easily. Other people need to eat the house before they get full. I'm that person. I need to eat the house before I get full. But that's why I like the fat loss fast system, because it's not a cookie cutter approach. It's not like, okay, this is the way, we're all going to do it, and if it doesn't work for you, screw you. No, it's not like that. I teach you how to use your brain so that you can change things up on a day-to-day basis to ensure you're going to get results, because nothing ever stays the same. What happens today isn't necessarily going to happen tomorrow, and that's why I really firmly believe in calorie and carb cycling, because then you can just go with the flow and you don't have to be in this daily deprived state. I don't believe in daily deprivation. I think that's why diets fail. So it's really just being smart about the cues your body are telling you. So if your body is hungry, then you know that it's going to be a higher calorie day. Other days you're not as hungry, it's a lower calorie day. And you do the same with your carbs. You cycle them. You know, some days you're going to have higher carbs than other days. I hope that helped. Hi, Paulette. Paulette Taylor, I believe she's from Alberta, if I remember correctly. And she has an incredible physique. Like, seriously, she should compete in figure. Incredible physique. And fasting has done wonders. A lot of people freak out and think that if you do fasting, you can't put on muscle. Well, bull, roar, and rubbish. Paulette's a perfect example. You can see her testimonial over at drsarasolomon.com. Just click on the testimonials and look for Paulette Taylor. And look at me. Look at how much I've put on muscle mass, and I'm fasting. So, bull, roar, and rubbish tell people who are like, oh, you're going to eat away your muscle. Not true. Pam wants to know, how would you get rid of inflammation in the body? The best way to get rid of inflammation in the body is to fast. Fasting decreases chronic inflammation. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, in case you missed it, you can also go back and rewatch this broadcast, which I recommend you do if you just hopped on. When this broadcast is done, you can go back to the very beginning and watch the whole shebang. But when you fast, it gives your body a chance to clean itself up on a cellular level. It's called autophagy. So, by fasting, you are going to decrease your chronic inflammation. So, again, it's as simple as just, fasting for 16 hours. Most of that happens at night. And just try it once. It's not for everybody. Not everybody's going to like fasting. But I'm sure there's been days in your life where, you sleep in and then you don't even eat breakfast until like noon anyway. It's brunch. So if you've managed doing that in your life, then you can totally hack doing a 16-hour fast. It's just skipping breakfast. And for me, I find that I have more discipline to skip breakfast than I do to try and control all of my meals throughout the whole entire day. Because once I start eating, I can't stop. I don't know about you guys. And for me, breakfast opens the food floodgates, and then it makes me even hungrier. In fact, it's like as if I didn't eat breakfast. As soon as I eat breakfast, I suddenly want to eat a second breakfast right away. I'm so hungry. And that's just because of when we wake up in the morning, our cortisol levels, they shoot up because that's part of, whoa, we have to get up and get ready and kick butt today. That's part of the body's, that's what our body does to get us going in the morning and gets the cortisol levels up. And you know what? I could get really hyper-technical right now, but I don't want to do that. Hey, Georgie's on. Hi, Georgie. Super, super cool to see you here. Hi, Michael Lee. Michael wants to know what's the best way to get rid of excess water weight. Okay. Are you competing? Actually, Michael, you commented on one of my videos the other day, and I appreciate it. And you look phenomenal, by the way. When I was competing, when I wanted to drop my water weight, what I would do the week out from the competition is I would obviously not eat as many carbs, because carbs, you store water with that. So I would play with that and have less carbs. And I also used this tea called dandelion tea, and you can get that anywhere. And I find the dandelion tea helps me to pee out the excess water as well. But you really can't outsmart homeostasis. So if you try and pop diuretics and do all these measures to drop your water weight, well, then your body is smart enough to then try and make you store more water. So it's a limited time offer. The best thing to do is not to obviously overconsume foods that would bloat you, salty foods, super tons of carbs before a photo shoot. Okay. Pamela says she has gastric bypass. What's the best way to get rid of the massive excess skin without having surgery? Really, the best thing to do is to have the surgery. Your best bet would be to consult with a plastic surgeon and see what they would offer for that. I mean, it depends how much loose skin you have. They might be able to tighten it up with some other, procedures they have, but definitely the best thing to do is to talk to a board-certified plastic surgeon on that one. But congratulations on losing all of that weight. That is very, very, very exciting. Very cool. All right. Michael says it's tough to keep the excess water weight off since I've been overweight before. Michael, you know what I do nowadays if I know I'm going to shoot for something? I'm already an intermittent faster. So if I know I have to do a photo shoot, I make sure I'm doing that in a fasted state. And when you're fasted, you just look ripped. when you're in a fasted state. You know, a lot of my girls say that they love that about the fasting because they wake up in the morning, their bellies are flat, and then they go about their day, they're still fasted, and they walk around with confidence all day because they look ripped. And then we eat at night, nobody sees us, who cares, we go to bed. Then we wake up in the morning, we look fabulous. So it's like you're always fabulous, except, you know, right before you go to bed, but who cares because you're going to bed. So for that reason, I love fasting because I'm always camera ready. And it's great for work because every time I want to film something, a workout or something, I look ripped. I'm dry, I look great. So, yeah. And Michael, I've been you know, down that same path too, where it was always yo-yo dieting, and that's where intermittent fasting really saved me and saved my sanity because finally I'm consistent. And you know, you combine that, obviously you're obviously doing compound movements, compound exercises. You combine that with a really good workout program. Wow, the results are phenomenal, and you can maintain it because the more muscle mass you have on your body, the leaner you're going to be. Combine that with fasting, you're ready to rock and roll. Combine it with a high protein diet, calorie and carb cycling, it becomes pleasant to do it. Pamela wants to know about the wraps. What wraps? Are we talking about like wrist wraps, or are we talking about like lettuce wraps, tortilla wraps, or like, yo, let's wrap? Okay, Michael says he's been fasting a lot lately. Likes to fast on rest days and a few days out of the week. That's perfect. You know, people think, oh, we have to do this every single day. No, you do not have to fast every single day. And you know, there's going to be times when fasting is just not even an option. Like Christmas, you know, maybe you're going to a social event and, you know, it's not something you have to do all the time. But the more you do it, the more you're going to want to do it. Because it just gives you so much, it's like it gives you peace. It's not like this constant like obsession with food and having to have food with you all the time. It just makes you feel like you can get so much more accomplished in your day. And obviously it's better for your immunity. It's anti-aging. I mean, gosh, what's the number one reason why I fast? Let me think about that. Because I'm not hungry all the time. And I hate being hungry. I hate being hungry. I hate being tormented. I hate it when food controls me. I like to be in control of food. And fasting is the first time in my life I've had control over food. I've been doing this now since 2012, and I will never go back. Never go back, because I'm just so happy and peaceful. Love it. I just love it. I'm so passionate about it. This is why this is my whole life. This is why I teach people how to do this, because it changed my life. Oh, stomach wraps. The stomach wraps you put on your body to shrink inches off their stomach. Okay, I think she's talking about like waist trainers, those things that you, like corset kind of a thing. What are my thoughts on that? Okay, my thoughts on that would be that that's not going to make you lose fat. What it will do is it'll kind of redistribute the way things are, but it's not going to change your body composition. So I'm not convinced it's a super good idea to be wearing those things, other than maybe for a fashion statement on Halloween, or maybe part of a fashion outfit you're wearing one night. You could wear a corset. That's cool, but it's not something that you should be doing for fat loss, because you're not going to lose fat doing that. Unless, okay, let me try and play devil's advocate here. If it's so tight, then it would be almost like having the gastric band around your stomach, so it would make it more difficult for you to eat bigger portions of food. So in that sense, it might help you with portion control, but it's not something I would advocate. I think that if you can have a more user-friendly way to approach fat loss and portion control, then that's the way to go, because you don't want to wear a corset for the rest of your life. And it's not healthy either to be, redistributing and shrinking and smashing all of your internal organs. So it's not something I personally would do. It's not something I would recommend. Again, I really think it's just a fashion statement on Halloween or one night out. Yeah, it compresses your vital organs. Like when you wear it super, just Google search it. Go onto YouTube and you can see some of these girls who have done the extreme shrinking of their waist. Some of them had ribs removed. I mean, God made your body a certain way on purpose. Your organs are supposed to fit in there. I think you'd be further ahead focusing on an exercise regimen that you enjoy doing, that stimulates you, that gives you results. I think you'd be further ahead following a dietary approach that is effortless for you. And then your body composition is going to change. The best advice I can give you is not to view fat loss as a chore. If you view what you're doing as exercising and dieting, then you're not going to adhere to it. But if you view it as training, and training with intention, set goals. Like for me, I told you I want to master handstands, for example. I have a whole list of goals of moves I want to be able to nail. And that's very stimulating for me. It makes me want to work out every day because I see myself getting stronger and more capable. It helps to have a sport. I mean, for me, I'm getting into gymnastics. What's your sport? So if you can train to improve your ability at your sport, you're going to be way more motivated to work out. And then if you're fueling, I am eating more than I've ever eaten in my life, and I look better than ever because I'm fueling for my training, for my sport. And that's why you see the changes in my physique. So when you have the attitude that you're fueling and training, and you have a why, you have good goals, then you're going to be able to adhere to what it is you're doing. You're going to want to adhere to it. It's going to be a pure joy. So that's really the best advice I can give you, is to find your why. Get some goals, and then figure out what your eating personality is and take it from there. See, Jody says too, she's never feeling deprived. I've never felt deprived either. And you know, the smartest solution, even when you do feel deprived, volumetrics. Just pick, low calorie, high fiber content, high water content foods that will fill your belly. For example, first of all, you should be drinking lots of water, especially during your fast and in your eating window, because you're less likely to overconsume in your eating window if you're staying hydrated. So water is important, lots of fruit and vegetables. I eat a lot of fruit and vegetables. In fact, Jody and I were talking about this the other day. We just bought cherries. Like, there's so many amazing fruit options. Enjoy your fruit, enjoy your veggies. I mean, it's pretty hard to overconsume on brock slaw and peas and cherries. It's really easy to overconsume on very calorically dense food that might not be so, useful for your training goals. I don't really see how eating, 6 Pop-Tarts is going to really get you to where you want to go with your training goals. I mean, one, in moderation. Everything in moderation, even moderation in moderation. I'm not against eating a Pop-Tart. Virginia wants to know how I eat so much in so little time. Oh, that's so easy for me. I could eat all my calories in 20 minutes. Are you kidding me? Seriously, I should enter like a contest. Thank you, Michael. The challenge of shaping your physique with food and exercise. Focus on compound exercises. So, squatting, deadlifting, your pull-ups, chin-ups, push press, floor press or bench press, compound movements. These elicit a neuroendocrine reaction. You're going to get results. Just focusing on isolation movements like bicep curls, it's not going to elicit that reaction. So if you really want your body to change, then I would just focus on compound exercises. Thank you, Joanne. She says, my thoughts on fitness and nutrition are so smart and realistic. You know why, Joanne? Because I've been doing this for a long time, and I did it all wrong sauce for so many years. So I learned what not to do. I learned what finally ended up working for me over the long haul. And it's an evolution. And what works for you today might not work for you 5 months from now. And I think what's cool about the Fat Loss Fast system is that it teaches you to be mature and understand that you do need to make changes over time, whether that's changing your eating window, changing your calories and macros, just, getting a new sport, getting a new goal. And I really think that once you embrace the evolution, you're going to really have long-term success. You know, there's not one magic answer that's going to work for the rest of your life. And that's true with anything in life. So what I want to teach with the Fat Loss Fast system is how to evolve. Lydia wants to know how long my workouts are. Do I still do HIIT? Yeah, what I'm doing is high intensity. My workouts are not that long. I would say, like today I did the Murph. It's longer than my usual ones. It took me 38 minutes to do the Murph. And it was like a modified Murph. But it doesn't matter because, you know what? I did the motions well, did them with proper form, and I got a lot out of it. My face is still red. My hair is soaking wet. My hair elastic snapped right off of my ponytail. What does that tell you? So I spend more time, Lydia, focusing on my weak point training and my flexibility mobility drills. I'm willing to devote a lot of time to that because I know that that's what's holding me back. And I do commit to that. It's really about committing to your weaknesses. If you can commit to your weaknesses, you're going to go so far. And I'm excited for the future because I know I'm taking the steps I need to take today to have a brighter future. So, yeah. What's your goal? And can you stop cherry picking? And can you start to focus on your weaknesses? I think the hardest part is self-awareness. Do we have self-awareness? Do we know what it is that we need to work on? And the answer is probably, yeah, it's the things you avoid. What do you think about that? Do I have to cut out gummy bears from my diet? Eddie, no, you do not have to cut out gummy bears. I have Rebecca Capodici on my live session here right now. She won my $4,000 transformation challenge eating gummy bears and Twizzlers and cereal. And that's the beauty of flexible dieting. It's called IIFYM, if it fits your mouth. No, if it fits your macros. So I teach you how to have 80% of your food as obviously being nutritionally sound because you need to have proper nutrients in order to get the most out of your day, whether that's for your training or just for being a healthy individual who will live, you know, to be a centenarian. So I believe that 20% of your intake should be whatever you want. And actually 80% of the food that is nutritionally sound, it's still the ones that you want to eat. It's not like you have to have zucchini. No, if you want to have peas, you know, if you want to have oats, you know, I want you to be able to think for yourself. So 20% is your fun calories, your discretionary calories. So if you need to have a gummy bear, well, you can probably factor in a few gummy bears into that. So I think that it's important to eat the things that you crave and desire and love because it gives you satisfaction. And if you have satisfaction when you eat, you're less likely to overconsume healthy food and unhealthy food. There's just something about being satisfied. Not putting weird food rules on yourself. When you take away the food rules, that's when you can adhere to something. Once you have weird food rules, then it starts to create a disinhibition effect where when you finally do cave in and allow yourself to have one gummy bear, because it's not allowed, it's forbidden food, all of a sudden now you have this desire to polish off the whole bag of gummy bears and then go to the store and buy 2 more bags and polish those off before the night's over. So that's the disinhibition effect. Whereas if you just allow yourself to have, you know, a reasonable sized portion of gummy bears on a routine basis, then you're never going to feel this gummy bear deprivation that's going to make you overconsume them. Make sense? Think about the way we ate when we were kids. We didn't have food rules, and we knew when we were full. We'd be like, Mom, no, I'm full. I don't want any more. So that's because we didn't have any weird rules. And just use common sense. I mean, you know you need to eat your chicken and your vegetables before you're allowed to have your gummy bears, right? Just do what your mom told you when you were young. Catherine from the UK. Her ratio on ice cream to lettuce was the wrong way around. I saw your ice cream posted in the Team SS group, and I was like, whoa. I wanted to know what flavors those were. Hi, Charlotte. Charlotte has had phenomenal success. Charlotte Dial with the Fat Loss Fast system. Like, her transformation when I saw it, I was like I had to pull down my cerebral pants because she blew my mind. So if you want to see her transformation, hi, Charlotte. go to drsarasolomon.com, and in the menu section, you will see testimonials. You click on that, you will see all of Team SS. And what's really cool is that some of these people have been on Team SS for 4 years, and they're still maintaining their 6-packs. So I love my Team SS family. Like, we're a good crew. We've been together for a long time, and we love inviting new people in. Really nice group of ladies. Not that we say men can't join, because you can join if you're a man. But, you know, I think the accountability factor and just, you know, having people who care, it really makes a difference. And I love my Team SS. Really, like, the most important thing in my life is seeing my Team SS succeed. And I'm so proud of them. So proud of them. In fact, we have an Instagram account if you want to check us out, at @officialteamss. I post their workout selfies, their recipe. They have good recipes. Oh my gosh. I posted, just if you go below on my Facebook, like I think 2 or 3 posts below, you're going to see Rebecca's oatmeal raisin cookies with protein. So good. So good. I'm so thirsty. Thank you. Oh, Kayla Ann Morris. Hello, Kayla Ann Morris. Where have you been? I haven't seen you as much in Team SS. Catherine had cookie dough and chocolate brownie ice cream. I'm jealous. Jealous. Deanna wants to know about cryotherapy. Is it good or bad? Deanna, I have no idea. And I'm not one of those people who pretends to know about stuff. If I don't know about something, I'm going to tell you I don't know about something, and I don't know about that. But it sounds chilly. Kayla, that's awesome. I'm so happy you're here. Oh, Kylie's going to make the oatmeal cookies. You know, a lot of people have already made the cookies from Team SS. Lori Lynn did. Kylie did. I know that Jill was going to make them. So if you make them, please post them in my Team SS group because I like to drool over it. Larissa. I love that name, Larissa. Hello, Larissa. Thank you so much. She says that I make her laugh. Well, thank you. Oh, thank you. She says, how do I fast and work out and not get shaky? Very good question. You know what, Larissa? The first time I fasted back in 2012, I was so scared that I was going to faint and pass out and potentially, you know, cause a car accident on my way home from the gym. So funny. It didn't happen. Of course it didn't happen. You know why? Because I have a pancreas that works. So, you know, you're not going to faint or pass out. And it's just, I think the sun's glaring now. I hope you can still see me. It's just, you know, because society has taught us that breakfast is the most important meal of the day and we must eat it or else we're going to faint and pass out, which is bull roar and rubbish. You know, a lot of times it's just breakfast cereal marketing. You know, breakfast companies doing their marketing, making it clear that if you don't eat their breakfast, then you're going to pass out. Now, I would just like to say, I still eat cereal. I still eat breakfast. I just eat it like at 5 o'clock at night. So you can still have your breakfast, but no, you're not going to faint because, believe it or not, your body will keep you alive. Think about our ancestors, you know, when they went through periods of famine and they didn't get to eat. Do you think we would have survived as a species if we were all going to faint and pass out if we skipped breakfast? I don't think so. You know, your body's going to release glucagon, and it's going to tell your body to, you know, break down the glycogen in your liver into glucose, so that way you will not pass out. And if you happen to deplete your glycogen, well, guess what? Then your body's going to start breaking down fat. Yay! Isn't that the whole point? They'll break down fat so that you can make the glucose and not pass out. Now, the problem is we've trained our bodies to become reliant on eating every 2 to 3 hours. So the first few times you try fasting, you might be like, oh my gosh, you're like, you know, having a hard time with it, which is expected. You know, some people can just do it right away and it's super easy. Other people might take a week or 2 to get used to it. And again, that's because you've trained your body to be used to getting food into your system every 2 to 3 hours. So you've suppressed your body's own endogenous glucose production. So for the first time, your body's like, whoa, it's been like probably like 30 years and she keeps just feeding us every 3 hours. And now she's telling us we have to do this ourselves and she's not going to feed us. That's your body's reaction. So yeah, you know, you have to give yourself a week or two to get used to it. You know, some people experience headaches when they first try fasting, or nausea. And most of the people who've done my program who say they've had that happen to them, after about a week or two, it all abates. It goes away. All those symptoms go away. So some people do have to stick it out for 2 weeks before it finally becomes easy peasy. Other people like me, the first time I tried it, I did my first fast 20 hours, totally fine. Now you don't have to go 20 hours. 16 hours is enough. Dick wants to know the ultimate source of probiotics. Probiotics, yogurt. That's what I used to tell my patients when I would, in case you don't know, I'm a dentist, and whenever I would prescribe my ladies, especially antibiotics for dental infections, I would definitely get them on probiotics, having them have lots of yogurt, just because it can cause a yeast infection. So yogurt is a good one, and if you aren't taking acidophilus, like a probiotic pill, that's something you can put into your regimen. Just make sure you read the bottle instructions, because some of them want you storing it in the refrigerator, and check the expiration dates too, because there's no point swallowing those little good bugs if there are no more good bugs in those pills. So that's my probiotic rant. Michael likes the 16 and 8 fast. Perfect. You know what works for you. So the question I have for anybody, you know, who's fasting or who's willing to try fasting, are you willing to be experimental? Because you have to be. You can't just try, you know, 20 and 4 the first day and be like, oh my God, this is horrible, and then write it off. No, you have to try different windows and see what's going to be ideal for you. So, you know, give it a whirl, be smart about it, and experiment, and you'll find the window that works for you. Maybe it's 19 and 5, maybe it's 16 and 8, maybe it's 20 and 4. So, yes. And you don't have to jump right to 16 and 8 the first time. You can ease your way into it. So like maybe the first time you're going to do a 14-hour fast. Then, you know, gradually over time you get that to 15 hours, and then work your way up to 16 hours. So it's not like you have to do it cold turkey the first time. Hi, Elsie! I will see you at the Olympia. In case anybody wants to know, I will be at the BSN booth at the Olympia. So if you're going to be in Vegas at the Olympia, I believe it's September 15th, 16th. Well, thank you. Look what Coco just brought me. Thank you. In case you want to know who Coco is, September 15th, 16th, 17th, that weekend in Vegas. I would love for you to come out to the BSN booth at the Olympia and come say hi. We could take photos and chit-chat and blah, blah, blah. So Kayla says, she's part of Team SS. She says this summer, she normally does 20 and 4, but this summer, because her kids are home, she's been doing 16 and 8, and she's still getting results. Absolutely. You know, it works. It really works. If you understand the principles of calorie and carb cycling and adjusting what you're doing based on your activity level, your workouts, like that's the point of my fat loss fascism. I teach you how to think. You're like, okay, what's your activity level today? And, you know, what's your hunger level, what's going on, and then you know what to do. And you know what to do. I'm teaching you how to nail the unknown. Because life is variety and unknown variables. So that's where I'm never going to be like, you're following this cookie cutter plan where you're eating this amount of calories every day, this amount of carbs, this amount of this amount of that. Because you're not going to have the same activity level every single day. You're not going to have the same hunger level every single day. And you're not going to have the same cravings every single day. So I really teach you how to think for yourself. I fail you if you can't think for yourself after reading my Fat Loss Fast program. So that's where I appreciate the feedback from you, because it helps me. Because if you know me, I'm really like OCD. I rewrite my programs every year because I listen to your feedback. And I'm like, okay, how can I explain this better? How can I make this simpler? So I appreciate your feedback. Never be shy to give me feedback on that, because it helps me teach this better. Dick wants to know if he's invisible. Yes, you are. I can't see you right now. All right. What time is it? Well, it's 7 p.m. Toronto time. I still have not eaten. So I'm still fasted, which is You know, it's unusually late, but that's because I'm busy. Oh, key point. When you are busy, fasting is so easy. See, I didn't even notice I hadn't eaten. I'm not even hungry. I just did a crazy, like, modified Murph workout in honor of the CrossFit Games today, and I'm not hungry. So fasting is successful for people who are busy. Michael says, what are my thoughts on meal timing prior to strength training session? Is it ideal to eat before a session? You know, Michael, I'd say you should tinker with that because it's going to depend on what time you're training. I prefer to train in the morning because for me, my motivation is a depreciating asset. Just like a cell phone, you plug your cell phone in and charge it in, you know, overnight, and it's fresh and ready to go in the morning. And over the day, the charge declines on your cell phone. So that's how I am with exercise. That's why I like to work out in the morning, because I'm motivated. But let's say your work schedule doesn't allow that. You might have to train in the evening. Well, obviously, you know, you're not going to be 23 hours into a fast just so you can work out at night. So that's where you would want to have a meal beforehand and train in a fed state. But you'd want to have the meal at least 1.5 hours before your workout, because there's nothing worse than that horrible feeling you have when you've eaten right before your workout, if you know what I mean. Now, it also depends on when the workout is. You might actually have to have 2 meals before you do your workout if you're working out really late at night. The key point is that you always want to have your biggest meal of the day as your post-workout meal. So for me, even though I work out in the morning, when I break my fast hours later, you know, 5 p.m., my post-workout meal, that's my post-workout meal. Even though it's that many hours after my workout, it's my biggest meal. So keep that in mind, that if you are going to have 1 or 2 meals before working out, they're your smaller meals. And then you have your great big meal after your workout as your post-workout meal. And I explain all of that in the Fat Loss Fast system, fatlossfastsystem.com. And this is all backwards for everybody, but there's a coupon July 35 for 35% off this July. And you can also get it more information on fasting just by heading to startfastingtoday.com, where I kind of give you a little quickie crash course. All right. Yeah, I agree, Rebecca. If you can wake up earlier and work out in the morning, you start your day right. You have pep in your step for the rest of the day. You feel very accomplished. And, you know, things always pop up in your schedule throughout the day, and sometimes so much stuff pops up. You don't even have time anymore to do a workout, and you have to sacrifice your workout. So if you just get her done in the morning, then you don't have to think twice about it for the rest of the day. So Kayla says she had high fats today, and she's satisfied. And that's fine. Remember, I told you to pick your poison. If you're having a high fat day, you're going to have a low carb day. Your protein always stays consistently high. You want to always have protein at every meal, obviously. So that's fine. As long as you're staying within, you know, your limits for the day, then you're not going to gain weight doing that. So fat isn't the enemy. You know, tomorrow, Kayla, for example, might have like a really long run because she's quite a runner. And that would potentially be a day when she would be super hungry and she would have more calories and more carbs, and she would drop her fats. So if her carbs are up, her fats are low. But at the same time, again, she's a runner. Maybe she's going for a run in 2 days. Tomorrow, she might want to purposely have higher carbs and carb backload so that when she goes for her run the next morning, she's got, you know, all this carb stored in her, so she'll have a wicked run. Make sense? Totally common sense. So, thank you, Kayla. I'm excited for you. You like, Kayla, you have the most shredded legs. I want your legs. Seriously. Kayla, your legs are like, and you can see Kayla's legs by going to my testimonials on my website, drsarasolomon.com. Click on the testimonials, and you can see all my Team SS members' testimonials and Kayla's shredded legs. In fact, there's even a video on there that Kayla did.